Welcome to the Savvy Podcast, the place where improving your listening skills meets real-world conversations and vocabulary. This week, we're diving into the world of football and the mindsets that drive it. Joining me are two passionate experts, Carlos Patino, football coach of the Don Bosco team and die-hard Arsenal fan, and David Jones, the most experienced savvy English coach and a proud Liverpool fanatic. We'll be exploring how mindsets influence the game, the ups and downs of teams' fortunes, and the unique coaching styles that shape players and teams alike. Let's kick things off, shall we? Before we start, it's question time. Which county in Ireland is Dave's mother from? A. County Clare, B. Galway, or C. Kerry? Good luck, and listen to the end to find out. Welcome back to the next episode of our Savvy podcast. Today we're talking about football, mindset, positivity, motivation and coaching in football. And joining us we have David Jones, a huge Liverpool fan but also a savvy coach. Hello David, how are you today?
Good morning Sam, can't complain, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And also we have Carlos Patino. How are you today?
Not too bad. A little bit under the weather, Sam, but in general, feeling okay. Good, and we've got a lovely expression there, under the weather, which means... To not be 100%. Unfortunately, the weather has turned recently, and it's had an effect on a number of people, me included. A little bit of a sore throat, runny nose, the usual stuff this time of year, but... nothing that can keep a good man down.
Well, I'll just move a little bit further away from you there, Carl.
And also, Carlos, I hope you get better soon.
I do too. Thank you very much.
Okay, first of all, David, could you explain a little bit about where you're from and the roots of your love of Liverpool Football Club?
It's a little bit of a strange one. My family's from Ireland. I know Sam thought I was from England this morning, so we had to...
With your accent, I'd imagine you were from England, but you're from Ireland. Where in Ireland are you from?
My mother's from County Clare in Ireland. I don't know if... Sam, did you go to Galway recently? Or?
I did. So my girlfriend is from Galway, so I spend a lot of time in Ireland, and County Clare is beautiful.
That's it, exactly. My dad's from Wales, and yes, but it's North Wales near Liverpool, so Liverpool being the closest city. So most of the people there will be Liverpool fans, some Manchester United fans, but nobody's perfect in this game.
So you'll be the second most famous Welshman in Spain, after Gareth Bale.
After Gareth Bale, exactly. That's it. He put Wales on the map.
John Toshak. He's a little bit
another one
on a pedestal here in Spain, if I'm not mistaken. He was Real Madrid manager,
wasn't he?
Oh, that's very true. Yeah. He made the expression "pigs fly" famous in Spain.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
He used the expression that when pigs fly over the Bernabeu, they'll win the league or something along those lines. And it was a famous expression. Okay, and Carlos, you're from... Where are you from? And could you explain your love of Arsenal?
My background is just as diverse as Dave's. My parents are from Colombia. I was born in Paris. I was raised in East London. My love for Arsenal doesn't come through family, but mainly my social surroundings. The majority of my friends are West Ham. Because I am from East London, that's the main club in that neck of the woods. A little pause there if you wish to explain neck of the woods, Dave.
In the neck of the woods, yeah.
Good one. That's your area, no? Where you're from and where you live, the neck of the woods.
Exactly. But my love for Arsenal stems from some young and close friends that I had at the time who were massive fans, who happened to have season tickets, and on one particular birthday, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was either my 10th or 11th, I was invited to an Arsenal game. I'd already been following them and I'd liked the team, but as soon as I stepped into Highbury, I was there for Patrick Vieira's debut, and
Fantastic player.
that was for me the moment where the love affair became a marriage, and we've been together ever since.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, for many years, David, being a Liverpool fan, I believe must have been quite difficult for you. Some troubling times, but then Mr. Klopp came in as manager, and we saw big changes. But in his first press conference, he gave a quote. Could you give us a quote, please, David?
He wanted to turn the fan base, the Liverpool supporters, wanted to turn them from doubters to believers.
Good. What is a doubter?
I don't know, Carlos, do you have that in Spanish?
Una persona que duda.
Exactly. I don't think there's someone who's with negativity and they don't.
Doesn't believe in themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's,
and was he successful in turning around the club and the supporters?
He certainly was. It wasn't overnight, so it took a while, maybe a few years. But definitely now, if we look at Liverpool 10 years ago compared to now, well, there's no difference at all. Everything's changed from top to bottom. So,
and how did he do that?
I think personality was definitely one of them, but also the small changes. So he didn't make big, widespread changes. Just
widespread, Carlos.
Widespread. Think about your tostada con tomate. You spread the tomate widely all over la tostada.
You're making me hungry, Carlo.
That's a fantastic explanation. Perfect. I can't put it better myself. Yeah, your tomato is widespread on your tostada. Okay, perfect. And continue, please, David.
And that's his small changes, but more the mindset. I think he tried to instill belief in players themselves, because the players weren't very positive. It wasn't too good at the time. And with small changes, it started improving little by little until after 3, 4, 5 years, it was a completely different team.
Yeah, he gave a lot of positivity, a lot of love to the fans, to the players, and changed the attitude around the club.
Always a big hug from Jurgen Klopp after all the times. Every time, win or lose, always a big hug after, and always
very charismatic, very good at man management and protecting his players.
And a big smile.
Very big smile.
Very big smile.
And those teeth you were going to say there, Sam, changed everything.
Big teeth as well, yeah. And Carlos, Arsenal went through a similar period as Liverpool, and maybe it lasted the same time or a little longer, but things are turning around now. And what has changed at Arsenal? I
feel the mentality more than anything else has changed. The reality was, before Arteta came into the club, the managers before him, I wouldn't really blame them specifically for the club's lack of success. I feel the players that we had at that time were not at the level mentally. Far too many passengers when we played big games, and unfortunately, when push comes to shove, it showed in the results. Push comes to shove. Some great expressions here. It's when the moment comes. No, when the moment happens, push comes to shove. You have to perform. Your back is to the wall. No, yeah, you have to perform in the moment. Exactly. Yeah. When there's no other option but to show your true colours, your worth, and the reality is we had far too many players in that team at the time who just perhaps were technically gifted or talented enough, but mentally they weren't the right profile. Now I feel with Arteta, since he's been at the helm, specifically with the changes that he's made to the playing staff, it's a reflection of him as a coach, and that's the most important part for me as a coach, to be able to feel that the players that are on that pitch are a true reflection of what it is that you believe in and you're trying to implement. Fantastic motivator, Mikel Arteta as well. Yeah, very similar to Klopp in that sense, although I would say their way of expressing themselves are very different. Arteta's a little bit more reserved. Funny, considering he's Spanish, and they tend to be a little bit more out there than the Germans, whereas Klopp, who is German, is historically very much front and centre, whereas Germans tend to be stereotyped as being a little bit more introverted.
What would you say is, making a comparison to Pep Guardiola, would you say he's more similar to Pep Guardiola, Carlos? Or?
Arteta?
Yeah.
I would say tactically, yeah.
Right.
Personality, no. I would say Pep is a similar character to Klopp. They're the type of managers that, for me, protect their players in a very, very ingenious way. Arsene Wenger, an ex-Arsenal manager, his excuse was always that he didn't see it. I didn't see it. I've not seen the replay, and that was the way that he would protect his players. I've seen interviews by Klopp and Guardiola, and they are very much the general of that troop, and they protect their players in very, very savvy ways.
Savvy, very good, very good. Now, we've mentioned the times are turning around for your clubs, but it must have been difficult in the bad times. How do you stay positive as football fans when your team is losing or not performing to the best of their ability?
I suppose we've been lucky being Liverpool and Arsenal fans as well, Carlos. I know other clubs, maybe it's not so easy, but always trying to think that it's only short term. And obviously, there's always changes in football, and you look over the past 5 or 10 years, the changes that have happened, some of the biggest clubs. I know here living in Valencia, obviously it's a good example. Unfortunately, things are not going the way they were 10, 15 years ago. But trying to think that it's only short term, there will always be a change, and trying to look at the future and the objective of getting back into the top part of the table.
And if you're a Leeds United fan, you just have to get used to supporting the middle ground or in the Championship.
Can't be easy.
You have to take your small wins when you get them.
There's a very famous saying in Leeds, there's no I in team. I love that. Yeah. It's something that I personally, as a coach, have tried to implement as inspirational quotes. I think it was Levy that said that, on Levy.
Yeah. Could you explain it?
There's no I in team. The word team is spelled T-E-A-M, and if we're speaking from an English perspective, I is yo. So no hay un yo en el equipo. There is no I in team.
Good, beautiful. And Carlos, you actually work as a youth team coach. Is it hard convincing young players or 17-year-olds to control themselves and use their mindsets in a positive way?
Yes and no. I'm blessed in the sense that I work for a club which is a very historical institution here in Valencia, it's el Club Deportivo Don Bosco. I coach both the under-18A and under-18B team. And I say I'm blessed because the caliber of player that I have at my disposal is of a much more developed and higher level. That being said, mentally, they are children, and some develop a little quicker than others. The easiest example I can give you, I have players at the end of their 3-year period of under-18 football who this season will turn 19. To look at, you would think from afar, this is a very well-rounded off young man. He looks like he's ready to enter the real world, but then you hear them open their mouth and express themselves, and they still speak and act like they are 13, 14 years old with the lack of maturity. But then at the end of the scale, at the other end, I should say, there are players who have just entered this period of under-18 football, coming through the under-16s, who are extremely mature. And that for me is just a testament to human development. It doesn't really have to do with how us as coaches can motivate or try to help players mature, because that's an individual thing. It's a case of actually trying to be a little bit more patient and understanding. It can be frustrating when you see an 18, 19-year-old running around the football pitch squirting a water bottle and you think, what are you doing? And then you've got a 15-year-old who's looking at him thinking, what are you doing?
And these difficulties, David, do you see that in your classes teaching? Maybe not squirting a water bottle, but keeping positivity in your classes when a student is struggling.
As Carlos said, no, it's not only the age, really. You have different personalities as well. I know it's probably a lot more typical for Carlos with their 15, 16, 17 age group. But yeah, the positivity, everybody has bad days, Sam, and sometimes people don't have the same level of motivation that they'd usually have. And it's important to realise a bad day is only a bad day. And hopefully the day after, you're back to your better old self and you continue on the correct path.
Exactly. Now, Carlos and I need to congratulate Spain for their victory this summer. Well done. But that success, that national team success, has come in the last 20 years, more or less. Carlos, what do you think the reason is for this change, and why are they doing so well, and why is Spanish coaching so good?
I just feel the setup here in Spain from the very top.
The setup is the organisation. So the setup of a company is how the company is organised, and you can also use it as a verb to set up. For example, to set up a Zoom call or a meeting. And yeah, that's to set up. But
indeed,
please continue, Carlos.
So the setup for me, the structure that they have in place is extremely well thought out, because from the very, very early ages that these players enter the federation system, it is a little bit of a conveyor belt in the sense that they are being churned out to think, play and be a certain type of player. So by the time that they've been through all the age groups, under 12s, 14s, 16s, 18s, 21s, and enter into the senior team football, it's like them walking into any situation that they've already been prepared for. We have got a similar setup in the UK with English football, specifically with the English national team. But unfortunately, where I see the biggest difference is in the level of coaching. I was lucky enough to do my coaching badges here in Spain, and I say lucky enough because I feel that by having done them here, I'm a much more rounded coach compared to my peers back home. I have friends that are at pro academies in the UK, in London, and when they've come over here to see training sessions, be it at Valencia or even at local clubs previous to where I am today, they have been blown away, to put it mildly, with the difference between how we coach here compared to how it's done back home.
To be blown away?
Impactado.
Impactado.
Well done, David. I'm blown away with your Spanish.
Oh, wow. Thank you, sir. It is true what Carlos said, because obviously I don't think anybody imagined that Spain were going to beat England. I don't think anybody here or in England expected that. No,
you're sounding very much like an Englishman now.
No, don't get me wrong, Sam. Don't get me wrong. I was well behind Spain in supporting Spain.
No, the game, the final itself, it was a funny weekend for me because, as I said earlier, my parents are from Colombia, and Colombia played Argentina in the Copa America final. So that 6-hour period was probably the worst. It could have been the best 6-hour period of my life, but it turned out to be the worst. But to be honest, I never genuinely thought England were better than Spain. Football-wise, I thought if we won that game, it would have been a tactical masterclass by Southgate, which would have been the first.
A masterclass.
Like your classes, no, Sam?
Enough said.
Explain.
No, masterclass is an incredible performance.
Exactly.
No? Yeah.
Exactly. And no, the reality is, before the tournament started, obviously England were favourites, or one of the favourites, due to the team that they have and the squad of players. But you have to be realistic. Spain, although may have not had players of such a high calibre, or let's say as well known, but they had a much better football team. We had individuals, they had a team, and ultimately this is a team sport.
It boils down to coaching.
Boils down to...
Boils. Okay,
boil down to...
¿no?
Llegar al grano, lo diría yo. Que llega a ser el tema tiene que ser los entrenadores o el entrenamiento.
Okay, guys, well, I'm going to blow the whistle on the end of our podcast there. I've really enjoyed talking to you both there. Thank you very much for coming in, David.
Pleasure.
And I will see you soon. The game on Sunday, any predictions? Arsenal against Liverpool, top of the table clash. What do we think?
Let's say a draw, no, as we're sat here next to each other.
I'll settle
say
for a friendly draw.
Yeah, we've had a little handshake between our podcasters there.
May the best team win.
Exactly.
May the best team win. Perfect. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Finish.
Cheers, Sam. Thank you.
And I'll speak to the listeners again next week. And it's been a pleasure.
Pleasure all mine.
Pleasure.
A post-recording note. We recorded this episode back in October, and if anybody is interested, the final result of that game was 2-2, a score draw, goals from Bukayo Saka, Mikel Merino, Virgil van Dijk for Liverpool and Mo Salah for Liverpool. And currently Liverpool and Arsenal are top of the league, so to keep you up to date. And finally as well, the correct answer was A, County Clare. Congratulations if you got it correct. And that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Savvy Podcast. We've had an incredible discussion about mindsets in football, teams turning doubters into believers, and how widespread changes in strategy and coaching styles can set up teams for success. A big thank you to Carlos Patino and David Jones for their insights and passion. Don't forget to check the link in the description for more examples and explanations of today's vocabulary. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.